welcome to another episode of Moody Talk Sports. Sorry for my voice, and I'm sorry I'm a day late. Again, got sick again. It's so funny. I was only sick maybe 3 or 4 times in the first 30 years of my life, and then my kids started going to school, and I've been sick like 6 or 7 times in the last 2 months. It's just, if you haven't experienced it, I'll just wait. One day, it's great. So, real quick, I want to give my college picks. I'm going to go ahead and give my NFL picks as well. Real quick, though, I want to talk about Thursday night's game I didn't get to yesterday. I'll keep it brief. I basically was almost right about everything, and that's not a flex. I'm not trying to say, like, I'm a prophet or whatever. What I'm trying to say is that, when it comes to the Eagles, people are who they are, and they'll tell you who they are. You just have to listen, right? And every sports show I had been watching for a while was like, oh, the Eagles are still great. They're still the team to beat. They're still the Super Bowl favorite. But anyone with 2 eyes could watch these games and go, something isn't right. This doesn't look right. I mean, they're having to block punts and block, kicks and, do weird things to win. And when you take those away, which those are kind of luck-based, let's be honest, what are you left with? And I said before, Thursday night's game when I was making my prediction, which I chose the Giants, anytime you get more than 7 points on a divisional game, on a standalone game, I just take it. It's free money. So that's another win, obviously. But what I said, Thursday morning when I came on here was I said they only play one half, and that was true again. They played one half. They didn't score at all in the second half. Philly had 17 points going into the second half. They never scored again. New York scored once in the third quarter and once in the fourth quarter. Scatabo both times. Another thing I had said Thursday morning was that Scatabo had kind of started to get his grounding. I thought this was going to be a big game for him, so that was one of my big bets was him on the over. Not even close. Absolutely just killed it. I also had Saquon over on receiving yards. I don't believe he hit that, and that's okay. But the thing is that I don't understand why they're not using him out of the passing game more. The Eagles just don't look good. They just don't look good. I'd said on Thursday morning that they were in the 20s when it came to offense, I think 29th in passing yards and 22nd in rushing, and then defense. The best part of this Eagles team was their pass defense, which was like 15th. That's not a good team. It's just not. I mean, I know their record is their record, but it sometimes you can win games if people come in a little intimidated, if they play scared. New York did not come in playing scared. Jackson Dart had nothing to lose, and they played like it, and it was a blowout. So 2 out of 3 on big bets for me, and then the pick'em, of course, I got with New York, so that helps a little bit. But still trying to get in the positive, still trying to get in the green. So we got college football up first. Let's start with that. Again, sorry about my voice, everyone. Goodness gracious. All right. So this game did happen, but I'm going to be honorable. And South Florida, North Texas, I could not believe South Florida was not favored. They were an underdog. That blew my mind. So, yes, I took South Florida. I thought it was going to be a blowout. I mean, I'm a South Florida fan. I'm here in Tampa. That's our home team. I watch every game. They're really good this year. They're really good. I know North Texas was supposed to be good too, but no. I mean, South Florida had a horrific first quarter. Horrific. And still, 99 points were scored in this game. I think they put up over 60. So, yeah, I took South Florida plus the points. And, I mean, I would have. If it had been South Florida minus 14, I probably would have taken it. So, that was a no-brainer. I wish I had put some real money on that last night. Ohio State going into Illinois. I'm going to take Illinois plus the 14.5. I said on my list last week that I am impressed with Ohio State, but I'm just not fully convinced. And I'm still kind of there. I'm not fully convinced with them. And 14.5 against an Illinois team that looks pretty good. I just think it's too many. I mean, I think Ohio State wins, and I think they win by 14. But the 14.5 is too many points. I can't lay those, unfortunately. So, Alabama at Missouri. I talked about this game for a couple weeks now. I'm really excited about it. Missouri is the best Missouri team I've seen in a long time. I mean, a long time, seriously. So I'm really excited about that. Alabama's on a hot streak. I'm going to take Missouri plus the 3.5 just because, Alabama, I think, does win this, but I think it's going to be really close. And so I'm going to take those 3.5. Great game. Really great game. Put this one on your watch list for sure. Pittsburgh going into Florida State. I'm going to take Florida State minus the 9.5. Florida State's had some rocky games the last couple, outings, but they've played some tough teams. They played Miami really tough. I think Miami's the best team in the country. So I think at home they bounce back. I think they win, by multiple scores, and I think the 9.5 doesn't matter. So they've got such a great offense. They ground and pound. They give so much effort. So yeah, I think 9.5 is not enough points for me to not stick with Florida State. We have Washington State going into Ole Miss. I hate this line, I really do, but I'm going to take the 32.5. No, I'm not going to take the 32.5. I apologize. I'm going to take Ole Miss and lay the 32.5. I went back and forth on it, and I don't know. I don't expect to win this one. North Carolina State going into Notre Dame. I got to take the 23.5. I've done this with Notre Dame the last couple times where I've taken the points because they're giving these teams that come in and play them 25, 30 points, and Notre Dame's good, but they just keep winning by like 20, and so I'm going to keep taking that until I'm going to go back to the well, until it doesn't work. This is my bet of the week. Oklahoma going into Texas, the Red River rivalry. Oklahoma minus 1.5. What does Texas prove to us? I think Texas is a mediocre team at this point, and Oklahoma looks good. They look really good. I mean, this is my bet of the week. I'd pound the money line. I'd pound the minus 1.5. I mean, whatever. But insane. I mean, that's easy for me. Virginia Tech going into Georgia Tech. I'm going to take Georgia Tech minus 14.5. I hate the line. I really do. But Georgia Tech's really good, and they're one of those sneaky good teams that always does really well, and no one pays attention to them. So I'm going to rock with them. Iowa State minus 2.5 going into Colorado. I'm going to take Iowa State for now. Colorado is just so hit and miss, and they're just having such a down year. I know they're at home, but I think Iowa State's better, and I think they find a way to win. So we'll see. Indiana going into Oregon. This is my game of the week. This is the one I'm most excited about. Got my Duck shirt on. I'm really excited. But I love both these teams. I love Indiana. I love Oregon. I think they're two excellent teams. I think this is going to be a great game. I'm going to take Indiana plus the 7.5 because Indiana blows almost every team out. And I don't think they're going to blow Oregon out. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Oregon's going to ultimately end up winning it. But it's going to be close. I just think 7.5 is a little too much, so I'm going to take the 7.5. Arkansas going into Tennessee. Arkansas is really up and down. If you look at what they've done, they're just really a roller coaster ride. And Tennessee, I think, is really good. I think Tennessee's just had a couple bad moments, and those bad moments have turned into losses. I'm going to go with Tennessee minus the 10.5. Yeah. Florida going into Texas A&M. I'm taking Texas A&M minus 7.5. I think people are high on Florida because of the win last week against Texas. I've been watching this Florida team. I watch the Gators almost every game. I'm not impressed. I'm really not. I don't think they're that great of a team. And so I just think Texas is that bad. So I think people are a little high on the Gators. I'm taking A&M for sure, minus the 7.5. Kansas going into Texas Tech. I hate this line. It's 14.5. I'm going to go ahead and lay the 14.5 just because Texas Tech has such an amazing offense. It's one of the most exciting offenses. They came out, didn't play a great first half last week. That's okay. They'll bounce back this week, still blow out. They got a good defense. I'm going to lay the points. Georgia going into Auburn. Auburn plus 3.5. I'm going to take the 3.5 because Auburn plays every team. This is the third ranked team they've played in a row. And all three of these ranked teams are, tough, in the top 10, and they've kept it within a touchdown. So, this is a decent Auburn team. They just can't seem to find a way to win, but they keep it really close. So with that being said, yeah, I'm going to take the 3.5. I think they keep it close again. They might even win. Who knows? Maybe this is the one they steal. We'll see. Michigan going into USC. I'm really not impressed with USC much at all, especially after the upset with Illinois and just a bunch of stuff. USC just hasn't looked good to me. Michigan's one of those tough, nitty-gritty teams. I'm going to take Michigan plus 2.5. South Carolina going into LSU. Again, South Carolina is one of those teams that is really tough, and they just play everybody really tough. And it's not that they're good; it's just that they're great at controlling the game and keeping it close. So the fact that you're giving me 8.5 points, I'm going to take the 8.5 points for sure. I think this is a touchdown game, or maybe even like 8 or 9 points, but the line's actually right here. I hate it, but it's right. BYU going into Arizona, I think BYU is just a little better. This is actually a really close game. This is actually kind of a sneaky good game, but BYU is I think ultimately going to win by a field goal, and because it's only 2.5 points I have to lay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. But this like I said, could be a sneaky good game. Arizona State plus 9.5. Utah, Arizona State they're ranked. I think Utah is a little better, but 9.5 just seems like too many points to lay. So yeah. That's exactly what I'm going with there. All right, that is the college picks for today. Everyone, remember, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy football. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay blessed, okay? Have a wonderful time. I will see you over the weekend, after the weekend, to talk about how great these picks did and how we're finally in the green. Wishful thinking. I'll see you soon.